Welcome to the Everyday GSD Podcast. Today's podcast is sponsored by Good Dudes Coffee. Good dudes, good coffee, good day ahead. Josh Bridges, one of the owners of Good Dudes Coffee, episode 31. You don't want to miss it. If you haven't seen it, go back and watch it. Josh Bridges was a former Navy SEAL as well as an amazing CrossFit athlete, and Good Dudes Coffee is our sponsor. GoodDudesCoffee.com. Get all the coffee needs you want. If you want a little extra pep in your step, Good Dudes Coffee is where you get it. And don't forget to use our discount code EverydayGSD10 for your Everyday GSD discount. Good Dudes Coffee. Our special guest today, Mr. Corys Sleet. How you doing, sir?
I'm great. How are you?
Good. You seem a little nervous, buddy. Do you need a little more wine? This is good wine, too.
That probably wouldn't be a bad thing. Loosen up a little bit.
Well, I've got a beautiful bio on you, so I'm gonna go through this, and then we're just gonna jump right into it. How's that sound?
Perfect.
Okay. Born in Gary, Indiana. You moved to Indianapolis when you were about 14 years old to live with your grandmother due to poor choices and losing several friends to gun violence. Mm-hmm. Gary, streets made you who you are. You learn from bullies, pimps, and drug dealers. I'm assuming learning what not to do.
Of course.
But we'll get into that. Big family, 8 brothers, 2 sisters. You are the oldest. You started working at the age of 11 because there was 9 kids and 2 adults in a 2-bedroom house. Your first job was killing chickens at a Muslim grocery store. How about that, Justin?
I am so excited to hear this.
Yes.
It's a real thing.
Yeah, I know. Second job was selling peanuts on the street corner in addition to starting your first business, Corys Lawn Service. Hustle is all you know, which is the everyday GSD way. You've had several jobs over the years, including retail, selling credit card machines, health insurance, several things like that. Your mom and siblings are from a Muslim. Mm-hmm. Am I reading that right?
Yeah. My mom and siblings from my mom.
From your mom are Muslim, mm-hmm. and your dad is a Baptist pastor.
Yes.
And you are Christianity is your faith.
Yes.
Your dad and stepmom have 2 kids. They've been married 41 years. Mm-hmm. Several near-death experience led you to your destiny. Mm-hmm. We're going to talk about that. You've been doing hair since 2005. When a near-death experience led you to follow your dream. And since then, your father also is currently battling ALS, which is very hard to watch. I can imagine. We can talk about that. You met Bobby Cooper and Sarah Cooper at some point in your life that made life changes. You've worked for Bobby for almost 15 years, and then he let you go. We'll talk about that because you ended up becoming a business partner with his ex-wife, mm-hmm. I believe, Sarah.
Yes.
And you guys opened up Lux Lab, which is a very, very well-known studio in the Midwest. You're a co-owner and master stylist at Lux Lab. And Lux Lab also supported my charity a little while ago, Sweep Cancer. So on behalf of Sweep Cancer, I definitely want to thank you for that.
Of course.
And of course, Sarah. And by the way, we are looking forward to having Sarah on the show. I know you made yourself a little bit more available to do it before she was.
Sure.
But I'm excited to hear her on the show and get all her details, and maybe we'll talk shit about you.
Can't wait.
Okay, let's back it up to let's start from the beginning, man. Gary, Indiana.
Yeah.
It's like
Steel City.
Steel City. Talk to me.
I think that's Pittsburgh, but we have steel mills.
So talk to me.
It was something. It as I said, it made me who I am.
Right.
People from there, how do I say this? Don't normally get out.
Right.
You don't have a lot of options. When I was coming up, you'd see a lot of adults, unfortunately, working at McDonald's, because there were no jobs.
Right.
Steel mills were closing. There were, lots of single parent households. The things that you saw were very raw, very real.
Right.
But you don't, when you're in it, you don't realize that you're in it, because everyone's the same.
Right.
So you just kind of work and just go day to day, and that's the main thing there is a lot of people there are just day to day.
Just surviving.
Literally. Yeah. Surviving.
Right.
Surviving. Yeah.
So you said you had a experience with some gun violence. Why don't we? Because I'm assuming this is when you were a younger child up in Gary.
Yeah. So, when you again are a kid, you just, hanging out, you're having a good time. And when I was 12, you're just playing basketball on an outdoor court. And, you don't realize that your friends are gangbangers. And every now and then when there's gang stuff, people get shot. And, we were just playing basketball one day and shots rang out, and you literally hear bullets whizzing by you. And how no one got hit that day is beyond me, because I saw wood splinters, from trees as we ran,
And this is like just a drive-by shooting, or
Yeah.
So it wasn't. They weren't going after one particular person.
They were, and I think they hadn't found him, so they found him that day, and and that was it's wild. I don't think a 12-year-old kid should have to worry about getting shot at,
Right.
But it was just it's almost like a rite of passage. Like when it happens, you believe it or not, you laugh about it later,
Right.
Because everyone's okay. Now, if it's otherwise, then you you deal with it other ways.
Right. And so that happened to you more than once.
Twice, yeah. Both at 12.
12 years old.
And each time I was with the same person. So then you kind of understand, like, this dude's not a good dude.
Right.
And, he's a little older. He was cooler. He had the girls. He, had gold teeth, all the things that a 12-year-old kid
growing up in that area thinks is cool.
admires. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. We had heroes, so to speak, but again, there were a lot of single parent homes, and by single parents, single mothers. So there weren't a lot of guys who were role models around. So when you're 12 and you're looking, and this dude has girls, he has a car, he has a wad of cash, and that's who you look up to, are those guys. Those guys are tangible. You can touch those guys.
Right.
You can't touch Michael Jordan. You can't touch Magic Johnson, but I can touch this dude.
Right.
And talk to him. And sadly, he was like a first mentor. So it was wild.
Right.
It was wild.
And so you had one of your friends in 8th grade got killed?
8th grade. This was the start.
Two kids.
Two friends, actually. Yeah. 8th grade. This was the start of my mom realizing she had to get me the hell out of there. She had just separated from my stepdad. She has 8 kids with him.
8.
It's
a lot of kids.
7. Yeah, it's a lot. 7 boys and 1 girl. With me, it was 8 boys and 1 girl. You can only imagine, it was WWF in our house every day. And my stepdad worked in the steel mill. So he was gone, sometimes working 16 hours a day.
Yeah. To provide. And, and it still wasn't enough, 9 kids and 2 adults to feed, we had a 2-bedroom house. And when 9 kids in a 2-bedroom house.
I mean, and this is not a large 2-bedroom.
Oh no, it's not. I can't imagine.
No. I mean, it was ass to foot, in beds, and actually slept on the floor in our living room because there were no more beds. Right. Because the little kids got the beds, and my sister, being the only girl, she got a bed, and she usually slept with the youngest who weren't infants. My mom, she was pregnant for like 12, 13 years.
Yeah.
Literally. And so when she...
and your mom's still alive, correct?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Recently moved to Charlotte.
Well, we'll make sure we don't curse too much on the air.
She knows.
Okay, yeah. So does my mom.
Yeah.
Love you, Chickie.
And you got a little wine here, so that's going to do something.
Going to open it up a little.
But yeah, so 14, I had 2 friends die, both of whom were on my basketball team for 8th grade. One of them, they found him in a van with his head blown off.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, someone had put a shotgun into his mouth, and they literally found him essentially headless, in a van.
Yeah.
I
Was it drug related, or do you know?
Yeah, it was, and everything always comes out. There was I think he was entering into the drug game, so to speak.
Yeah.
And, it's just one of the things.
Right.
One of the things. And,
the story is good, but man, we're starting off with some Debbie Downer shit, man.
No. I mean, this is
real life.
It's just real life.
Yeah.
And the other guy, was could have been another one of my, I guess you could say, near death experiences.
Yeah, let's talk about that.
My buddy and I were walking home from basketball practice, and an old Delta 88. You're old enough to remember Delta 88. Those
Easy,
big
watch
cars.
yourself.
Slams on the brakes.
Oldsmobile Delta 88.
There you
correct.
go. Yeah, the big. You could fit 7 in that car comfortably.
Big trunk too.
That is true. That is true. And my buddy and I are just walking home, from school, and this car slams on the brakes, and they yell out, "Keith." Now, Keith and I looked a lot alike, and by a lot alike, we're both light skinned with the kid and play high top fade, and we had this similar Atlanta Hawks jacket that I got with extracurricular activities. And so we're walking. They think I'm Keith. I'm yelling, "I'm not Keith." Not to bore you with too many details.
Oh, you're not boring me, man. Listeners love this shit.
They get out of the car, and my middle school best friend, Carl, and I look back. One guy puts a 12 gauge in his jacket, and then 2 other guys put pistols in their waistband. And, this is a moment. It's a life or death moment, literally. And I looked to Carl and I said, "They think I'm Keith. They're not listening." In between us was a fire station and an abandoned rail yard to our homes. We're about 3-4 blocks, maybe 5 from home. I say to Carl, "We got to go to this fire station, because if we get to the rail yard, they're going to kill us."
Yeah.
I'm 14.
Yeah. You shouldn't have to be making these choices.
No. So we decide to run. We run to the fire station, burst in the door. We're screaming, "Help us, help us."
Yeah.
Luckily, there was a firefighter there who heard us, and he hit the alarm bell. As 2 of the guys walk around, we see them in the window with their guns out. The bell starts ringing. These dudes take off, and a week later, my friend was found dead.
Wow.
Yeah.
And how soon after that did your mom move you out of there and move you to live with?
Oh, that wasn't even close. I mean, that wasn't it. That wasn't what did it. Probably like 8 months or so. 8 months or so after that, when I started high school at Westside High School in Gary, Indiana, she had heard some grumblings. As I mentioned, she and my stepfather separated, and I decided at that point I was the man of the house.
You want to move his microphone where? Closer to him?
In front of his mouth.
Yeah.
There we go. Yeah, thank you.
I decided I was the man of the house, so I decided to get a job.
Right. And how old are you? About
14.
Yeah.
14,
all grown up.
Somewhat, yeah. This was long after killing chickens. This was a different job.
So we got to go back. We got to go to the chickens too, but we're going to go back to the chickens.
Yeah. So my mom, we struggled.
Yeah.
And she couldn't work because she had, 8 other kids.
Yeah.
So, there were people that my mother told me to stay away from.
Right.
And as a kid, that makes you want to hang out with them more.
Yeah.
But again, it's the guys with the girls, the guys with the gold teeth, the guys that always had a fresh haircut, the guys that, had cars and wads of cash. And, one day I couldn't take it anymore because I was just sick of it. Our lights were off. We had gas, but no water for a little bit. And I went to this guy's house that my mom forbid me to go see. And I asked him, what do you do? In a very curious way. And he said, "I'm a businessman." And I said straight up, "Are you hiring?" And he said, "Well, what can you do?" And I said, "I have a bicycle." And he goes, okay, go get your bike. And I got my bike, and he says, no, go get your backpack. And he handed me something to put in the backpack. So I rode my backpack to this address he gave me, and the guy at the house opens the door. I go inside, hand him my backpack. He puts something else in the backpack. I ride back, and he hands me $100. Blown away.
Yeah.
Blown away. But with that,
Is this guy hiring now? Or
I mean, probably. If he's alive, he probably is.
He's in prison.
He probably is.
He's dead.
And this is, this is
$100 to a 14-year-old kid is back then. That's that's
Well, especially because it's going to go help pay to fucking put the lights back on.
You know what I did?
Yeah.
That's what I did.
Yeah, of course.
I rode my bike to pay the light bill.
Yeah.
And, my mom, the lights turn on. I come home. She says, your stepdad must have paid the light bill. I said, oh, yeah, he must have. You know what I mean? Next day I went back, did it again. And I paid the gas bill. It's just, for me, it wasn't like an option.
Right.
I had siblings that were cold and, it was just
miserable.
Yeah. But it was what it was. But then, you make it more because you start to get money and you get cocky.
Yeah.
You buy the girls some candy, you get attention, and, this was the Jordan era. So I got to get my first pair of Jordans.
Oh shit. Wish you had them now, don't you?
Yeah. I got a closet full of them. Don't even wear them. But, it was tough, man. It was, and then lying to my mom, and it was just a lot.
Yeah.
So it was a lot, and she got wind of it, through other things, and you get cocky. She knew what we had and didn't.
Yeah.
So I would take the bus to the mall and go shopping. I come home with these fancy clothes, and my mom never knew. Where'd you get these clothes? Oh, well, I went to the shopping center and I handed out flyers. She's also not an idiot. She knows Jordans were the first $100 tennis shoes.
Yeah.
And she couldn't get us anything. So when she saw it, she was, suspicious, and she asked me, should I be worried? I said, no, I'm good. Like, everything's fine. But she knew.
Yeah.
And that's what perked her antenna. And then that, everything leading up to that is what it got me to live in Indianapolis.
With your grandmother?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay, we're going to go there, but I want to go back to because I am intrigued, and thank you for sharing that. I know that's kind of tough to share, and your mom's going to listen to this, and yeah, that's good.
She knows.
Yeah, good stuff. But I want to talk about the chicken. Your first job was killing chickens at a Muslim grocery store. What is that?
So
Justin, what the fuck is that?
yeah, I can't wait to hear it.
I was just what's funny.
And how old were you then?
11.
11. Okay.
I was just sick of being broke.
Yeah.
And what started this was a bad haircut by my mother, which is ironically that I do hair now.
And pretty famous.
Infamous, one of the two. And I wanted, this is a good story. I wanted a Bobby Brown haircut.
Yeah.
And my mom, who was also a seamstress, she had to make our clothes because we couldn't go get clothes. I can cut that. I said, Mom, don't fuck this up.
Tell me you have a picture of this.
No, we couldn't afford a camera. Are you kidding? We didn't have a camera. Shit. No way. And if I did, I would have burned it.
I'm visualizing post-production, put a picture
with AI these days.
Oh, you could do it. And also imagine red hair. I had fire red hair until I was about 14.
What? You're black. And you had
I have a baby pic I'll show you both today that I got from my aunt maybe a month ago. Maybe 2 months ago.
We're putting that up.
You can, yeah. So I say to my mom, I just want a haircut. I want Bobby Brown's haircut. The Gumby. If you remember, he had the Gumby.
I remember.
And I can do that. Oh my God. I know I'm bald now, but I made her shave my head. It was that bad. I was livid. I think to this day, I've never been more upset with my mother than that day. And I sat in my bedroom that I share with all of my siblings, and I said, I got to get a job. That was my thought.
Yeah.
I got to get a job.
Yeah.
So at the mosque that we went to, there was a guy who had a converted gas station into a market. You know,
Yeah.
he had fruit, veggies, and all these things. And
Chickens.
Eventually chicken. So I asked him, because I knew I wasn't going to get a real job because I was 11.
Yeah.
But I had to get a job.
Right.
And I knew my parents trusted him, my mom and stepdad. So I said, okay, I'm going to ask him. I said, his name was Yahya Rashid. I hope he's still living. I think he is. Ask if I can work for him.
Yahya
Rashid.
And
he says, well, what can you do? You're 11. I said, I can sweep. You know, I can
do
I
anything.
can stock shelves.
Yeah.
I didn't care.
Yeah,
I didn't even care what he paid me. I just wanted to be able to make enough money to get a damn haircut. That's all I cared about. And I went, talked to my mom. She said, okay, yeah. And they would drop me off. And then when I got there was this, I heard this noise, and there was a truck backed up to the store. And I walked around, and there were probably 150 chickens.
all alive, like running around.
All alive, yeah, in the back of this truck.
Right.
And it had like a gate and straw on the bottom. I'm looking around. I had no idea what was going on. He said, well, you're going to help me with this today. I said, all right. So, you know, like in Jewish culture, they have kosher.
Yeah.
And in Muslim culture, they have what's called halal.
Hello. Yeah.
He did halal chickens.
He didn't or did?
He did.
Oh, okay.
He slaughtered them.
Yeah.
So my job was to go into the truck, and all the chickens would run to the corner.
Right.
And I would grab a live one, bring it out. He'd say a prayer in Arabic,
Yeah.
cut its throat.
Yeah. Let it
I would
bleed out.
put it in a funnel, and it would shit all over my hand and everything.
Fucking gross.
Oh yeah, it's bad. And then I would dip it in hot water, not too long, but long enough to pluck the feathers. And I would cut the head off, cut the feet, cut it open, take out the heart, liver, gizzard, put it in a little bag, weigh it, and ring them up. And as I got further along, I would do it. He would just yell to me, I need 2 chickens. And I would go in and grab them. I would cut the throat, put them in the funnel, pluck them, cut off the head, feet, you know, gizzards and liver, heart, bag them up.
And now you're a vegan?
Oh, I eat the shit out of some chicken. What are you talking about?
Justin just
I'm about to be a vegan.
No way, man. Well, and that's not even the wildest part. The wildest thing I saw was when they brought in lambs and goats.
Yeah.
And they would hang them upside down, tie the legs. And then just for all your listeners, this is actually very humane.
Oh, yeah.
A lot of people are hearing this are probably going to think like,
Oh,
God,
when I lived in Southeastern Asia, I watched all kinds of animals get killed
Yeah.
in this manner.
this is the most humane way
Yeah.
to do it. If you know you're a meat eater, John, I'm glad your missus
Yeah.
isn't in here right now.
Yeah.
But so we
the resident bartender, Jonica.
Yeah.
She's,
Yeah.
She's here in spirit.
just
Who
giving
knows,
me
maybe,
the stink eye.
maybe she'll stop in today at the studio.
So the wildest thing I saw in there was they had a goat hung up and slit his throat, rather, sorry. And it got loose, fell out, started running around, blood squirting everywhere. And this guy comes and tries to grab it, and it kicked and snapped his arm in half. And the bone popped out, and he's got blood squirting. There's goat blood, and
It's like a Fairley Brothers movie.
yeah, I'm like, I'm 11. I shouldn't be seeing this. So I quit.
I'm sorry, I'm laughing.
Well, and I smelled like wet chicken feathers every time I went home. I don't know if you ever smelled that. That's not any good. That's not a good scent.
Next time I see you in town, I'm gonna call you the Chicken Man.
You can. And someone, you know, if you need me to butcher it up for you, just let me know. I got you. I got you.
That's amazing. So that's the That's your first job. Your
Very
first
first job.
official job.
Yeah. So then I went to another guy at our mosque who actually was a tremendous mentor for me. He's
Like a real mentor,
a real mentor,
not a drug dealing mentor.
No. He's a real mentor.
Yeah, okay.
He, if I could say anyone taught me how to hustle, it was this guy. And
Just when you were selling peanuts?
Yeah. He asked me one day, you know, like, how's it going at the mosque? And I said, oh, I hate it. I quit. And he says, well, I'll hire you.
Wait, quit the job or quit the mosque?
Quit the job.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Quit the job. And he was a hustler. He was probably where I learned to hustle.
Right.
He would go to Chicago and buy knockoff bags and cassette tapes and peanuts, and he would go to hair salons and he would sell them. But when he didn't have to go to a hair salon, he would stand on a corner and sell peanuts for $1 a bag. And he told me for every bag I sold, I got a quarter.
Oh, okay, 25%.
Yeah.
I feel like that's pretty good.
I think that's damn good.
Yeah.
That's damn good.
I think it's great, actually.
My goal every day was to make $5.
Yeah.
If I made $5 a day, 2 times a week, you know, that's $10.
Yeah.
I could buy enough penny candy to be Scrooge McDuck, you know, just swim in it.
Yeah.
And, you know, go home and share it with my siblings and
rot out all the teeth.
Every single one. And he took me under his wing, and he one day says, we're going to go to this hair salon. And this is where the hair stuff started.
Okay.
And we walk in, and he's got, you know, fake Gucci bags, fake Louis bags, peanuts, oils, perfume, cassette tapes, you know, all just black market stuff.
Right.
The walk in Chinatown, basically.
Yeah.
And man, when I walked in there, I can't explain that feeling. It was, you know, ladies everywhere and everyone's laughing and hair looks good. And I was like, what is this place? You know what I mean?
Yeah, this salon.
Yeah. Like, what is this place?
Right.
And I didn't want to leave it. And then he says, well, if you can sell a purse, you know, I'll give you X number of dollars. I don't even remember how much these, I didn't care.
It doesn't matter.
I didn't care.
Yeah.
But I wanted to get closer to the hairstylist. So I'd walk over to them and, hey, you want this Gucci bag? You know, and, well, I don't have any money for it. And in hindsight, it worked for him because he had this cute redheaded kid with a Gumby haircut.
Yeah, it's like with a stupid fucking haircut.
Yeah. who's pushing his merch.
Yeah.
And it worked. It worked. And, you know, we sold a lot, and that's where the intrigue started. And then somehow I started watching my mom do my sister's hair more closely. And it just peaked it, you know, right there where I think it started.
And so then, and then you also had hold on one second. Okay. So you're still up north. You're still up in Gary.
Yeah.
And then you also had tried your luck a little bit as a lawn care company.
Yeah. I just wanted like money.
Summer job mowing lawns and shit.
Yeah. I just wanted money, and I didn't care.
Because the name of your company is original.
Corys Lawn Service.
Yeah.
Well, you know,
I mean, you put a lot of thought into that.
This is late 80s, man.
Yeah,
you know? There was not a lot. So I made up flyers.
Yeah.
And put our home phone number on it. And I took our lawnmower and I would cut front yards for $5, backyards for $5, you know, same raking leaves. And in the winter I would shovel snow. And it was, unbeknownst to me, it's where it started, the hustle, you know, because once you start making money, which started for me at 11,
right,
you don't want to not have any, you know, even if it was a couple bucks, you wanted something. And that was the goal, was to always have money in my pocket.
Right.
And then I even went above that and got a paper route. So I get up in the morning before school, 3:30, 3:45, deliver papers, come home, get in the shower, go to school, get out of school, go cut grass, come home and do homework And if I had basketball practice or something, I would do that. You know, I was.
And how were you as a student?
I was all right.
Yeah,
I was all right.
Because you didn't apply yourself, or
because you know, again, going back to the street, none of the dudes that I looked up to that had money and cars and girls, they didn't go to school.
Right.
So in my mind, if I found the right hustle, I wouldn't need school.
Right.
And, you know, school, I saw kids get beat up at school.
Yeah.
You know, I didn't want to get beat up. You know, school is fine. You know, it's fine.
Yeah.
I know a lot of people who are book smart, but if you put them in a social situation or a real life situation, they have no clue what to do.
Facts.
No clue what to do.
Facts.
You know, someone asked me once if I had a choice of working for someone like Jay-Z or working for someone like Bill Gates, who would I choose? And I said Jay-Z, because the streets make you. You know, they will teach you things you cannot learn in a school environment. Period.
Yeah, it's true.
Yeah, I mean, and again, this is no offense to people with master's degrees or doctors or anything like that.
I have a bunch of them that work for me.
Yeah. Yeah. I know a bunch of them that come to me and, you know, who don't work in the field that they studied. So, but yeah, school's fine. You know, I, believe it or not, I was this height in the 8th grade.
Oh, wow.
I'm 6'1".
Yeah.
But I was about 125 pounds.
And what grade was that?
8th.
Did you still have that stupid red hair?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Oh yeah. With the high top fade, I was about 6'4". You know, and to say that I didn't think I was going to be a pro athlete would be crazy. You know, but sports got in the way of my hustle. Right. So I couldn't. You know, I went to basketball practice, and you know, I tried baseball. I couldn't catch. I could hit. Football. You know, I didn't like getting hit. So basketball was pretty much what it was. You know, growing up in the Jordan era, that's what you did. Everyone wanted to be like Mike.
Yeah. I mean, literally.
But I couldn't touch Mike.
And for those people who don't know where Gary, Indiana is, that are listeners, and I feel like most people do, but it's kind of like, I wouldn't say a suburb of Chicago, but
hell no. But it's the armpit of Indiana.
But people, it's very close to Chicago, right?
Oh, 20 minutes.
Yeah. But it's nothing like Chicago.
It's a lot like the south side of Chicago.
Part of the shitty part of Chicago, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, I always jokingly say that Gary is an extension of the south side of Chicago. And if you've ever been in the south side of Chicago, you know, it's nothing nice.
Yeah.
You don't
the
want
Candyman. Caprini Green.
Yeah. Yeah. And the White Sox.
White Sox.
What, the Candyman serial killer?
Oh, that was a movie. It was like I don't know if it was a true story. I think, was that based on a true story?
Is that the one where you say his name in the mirror 3 times? And he comes up.
Yeah,
no, dude, that's like the boogeyman. That's not a true story.
No, but there was
true story.
But there was a serial killer in Caprini Green that they.
Oh, that is true. Yeah,
okay.
And maybe they did call him the Candyman, but that movie, because there'd be like bumblebees and shit that would come out if you said his name 3 times. That gave me nightmares for years. But yeah, you know, it was, you know, it is what it is. You know, school was fine. I went to school, believe it or not, in the basement of our mosque for elementary school. And we were very, very, what's the word I'm looking for? Isolated. And
is that because of the religion or?
Yeah. So my stepfather wanted us to go to school in the mosque. And my mom.
Because your father was a pastor, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, in Fort Wayne, Indiana.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Right.
So that's what we did. You know, we didn't know any differently. So like, again, when I went to look for a job, these are the guys I knew.
Right.
Because I saw them all the time.
Right.
And they, you know, they did all right. But then you go home and then that's where you see the bullies, the pimps, the hustlers, you know, and you walk around and, you know, you go places that your mom tells you not to go.
Right.
And again, when you're the oldest of 9 kids, you want it. You know, you're just hungry. And
you almost feel like a responsibility that you have to help, right?
I didn't feel that till my mom asked him to leave. And then I anointed myself the man of the house.
Right.
But also with that, I got cocky, man.
Yeah.
I'd come home at 4:00 in the morning. I'm 14 years old.
Shit. Nothing good happens after 9 o'clock.
My grandma used to say, only thing open after midnight is legs.
Say that again. That's going to be the best reel ever.
The only thing.
No, who told you this?
My grandma, the one that raised me when I moved here.
Let's get
my
grandma
cousins
on the show.
Grandma's coming on the fucking show.
Well, listen.
Is grandma alive?
She is not, unfortunately.
May her soul rest.
Man,
in
listen,
peace.
that lady. You want to get me emotional.
Okay, we won't do that. But tell me what's the only thing?
Ain't nothing open after midnight but some legs. We say, grandma, that's why we're trying to be out in the streets, me and my cousins.
Oh, that's too much.
It's something, I can relate more to that than a lot of the guests whose hair I do.
Right.
Whose kids grow up in private schools and things like that. And, you get jealous. You think, what could I have been, if I had tutors, teachers who care.
But your path is your path, right?
Of course.
It happens for a reason. You wouldn't be the successful person. You wouldn't be the successful person you are today without the life that you grew up in and grew out of. Around the people that you were with, whether it was your mom, your father, your stepfather, or the mentor who had you cutting chickens. But I mean, let's not fucking blow smoke up anyone's house. You're pretty dialed in right now.
Yeah. I mean, you have to be. You're a business owner. Like once you sign your life basically, to a bank.
But I mean, you were cutting hair for professional athletes, professional dancers, and I don't mean strippers. I mean professional dancers.
There's some strippers in there.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Not even kidding.
NBA dancers, ballerinas, ballroom dancers. People have flown you to cities just so you can cut their hair because, I mean, you've been flown to New York, which is, New York, Miami, LA, some of the biggest cities that have already the best artists, the best stylists, and they'd fly you there specifically because they want you to cut their hair. So let's not fucking kid ourselves. You're pretty fucking good at your trade.
I'm blessed.
Yeah.
I'm blessed.
Modest.
Yeah. I mean, I honestly, it surprises me sometimes.
Yeah.
Cause when you get older, you start to just reflect. And I can remember being in Gary and just thinking, I got to get the fuck out of here, man.
Yeah.
At 8, I got to get the fuck out of here.
But isn't that crazy? Think about that. 8 years old, you already are thinking about, this isn't right. This is not the life that I want or I want to be around.
Yeah. But it's hard.
Right, Justin? Like at 8 years old, think about that. At 8 years old, yeah.
I mean, that is the everyday GSD mentality.
Yeah. I mean, truthfully, obviously, I wanted you on the show for a while. And thank you again for coming on the show and for taking time.
Sorry it took so long.
And for taking time out of your busy schedule, because obviously you are a business owner and you are in high demand. Your time is very valuable. But I mean, think about that. At 8 years old, you were already thinking about the GSD mentality. Because you're like, I need to make money and I need to get the fuck out of here.
Yeah, it's sad because I think about it now. Let me just say this really side note. Therapy is a wonderful thing. My therapist has gotten me through a lot of stuff trauma.
Yeah.
I like to think I'm funny. A little bit at times. People will tell me, "God, you're so funny." A lot of times humor comes from trauma.
Right.
So I think a lot of the things were traumatic, you like I said, getting shot at.
Yeah.
You laugh about it. What else are you going to do? You can't cry, especially in front of these type dudes.
Right.
No, at all. You can't show any weakness.
So how old were you when you realized that therapy was a good thing and you started going to therapy? Do you want to talk about therapy or no?
We can, yeah. 35.
Yeah. So, because I think that's good. I think, mental health is, we have a couple of friends that have another podcast building a refuge.
Yeah.
Give them a shout out. And it's about men's mental health that a lot of men don't talk about. And actually, we're going to have, I think we're going to have them on the show. I think they agreed to be on the show. So that we'll talk about that at another time. But it's interesting because men don't talk about trauma or their emotions. So then it builds up and it causes more problems. Right?
Well, and even not to, cut you off, but
No.
men of color especially don't.
Yeah.
Be a big boy.
Yeah.
Wipe those tears.
Yeah.
What are you crying about?
Yeah.
Don't make me give you something to cry about. Things like that. I would get told that I was a daydreamer when I was younger because I would literally sit in bed or sit somewhere and I could see my life. I know that sounds wild, but I would look at a wall and it's like I saw it.
Wasn't that like, that's a vision board that they would have now, right? Like a vision board where,
Yeah.
but you were doing this before like these were things.
No. And I thought that
You know what I
something
mean?
was wrong.
Yeah.
I thought that something was wrong. I really did. And it would start off with little things like I would see myself wearing Air Jordans. I didn't know how I was going to get them, but I knew it was going to happen.
And back then you're thinking as a child, which is different as an adult. Well, maybe not, but more materialistic things
Because we had nothing.
because you had none.
Had nothing.
Right.
I wanted just to get Fruit Loops,
Yeah.
instead of generic cereal.
Yeah.
And, one of the other things that I did when I got my delivery job,
Yeah.
I went grocery shopping.
Quote unquote.
Yeah. I went grocery shopping.
Yeah.
Had no clue what I was buying. Bought like cube steak. Didn't even know. It looked cool. I bought all the stuff that I wanted that we could never
That you
get.
thought you wanted.
Well, I already wanted it.
Oh, yeah.
And brought it home to my mom. This was what I thought being a man was.
Yeah.
Paying the bills.
Yeah.
Ride my bicycle to NIPSCO, which was the gas company up there. Pay it. Light company, pay it. Grocery store, pay it. But then when you pay all the bills and you still got all this money, it's like, oh, all those visions I saw, those Jordans I saw on my feet, now I can make it happen.
Right.
That girl that I saw myself walking with in school.
Did she have red hair?
No.
Thank God. Too much.
No, that'd be a lot.
She'll take your soul.
For sure. For sure.
Justin shaking his head.
But, you visualize it. I was in, just really quick story, in church once, and the pastor, says, you gotta see it before you see it. And it resonated with me.
You got to see it before you see it.
You got to see it in your mind before you see it
With your eyes.
Yeah. And I've always seen it.
Yeah.
In my mind, Gary was a prison that when I turned 18, I would leave and never come back. That was always my mentality. Now, my mom sent me here at 14, so it sped it up a little bit.
Right.
But even at 14...
But you had a plan. You were leaving at 18, no matter what.
Oh, yeah. I didn't know where I was going.
But you were leaving.
But that's, you could get sidetracked.
Yeah.
I had friends that, like I said, died in the 8th grade.
Yeah.
I had friends that I left there when I moved here, became parents at 15. Get kicked out of school, you bring a gun because someone's threatening you. There are all these ways you can be derailed.
Right.
So honestly, initially when my mother sent me here, which she did because I was going to have to finally join a gang.
Yeah. Bad choices.
Yeah. And I didn't have a choice. And she didn't know how I was making money, but she knew I was making money.
Yeah. She knew.
And I am not a parent, obviously. I can't imagine that.
He said, obviously.
I mean, listen, dude, the 90s were wild. I don't know. I don't think I'm a parent. My sister suggested one time that we all do 23andMe.
And you said no.
No fucking way. No fucking way. No, I'm not doing it. That's all I need is like a 26-year-old redheaded, big mouth kid come up to me and tell me, I haven't been around. But My thought when I got here, one, I was obsessed with my grandma. Obsessed.
In a good way.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. She actually lived in Gary till I was 12. And then she moved to Indianapolis because she got a promotion with her job.
Okay.
I was mortified when she left. Mortified.
Yeah.
I used to walk to her house about 1.25 miles at 8 because I hated my house. My stepdad and I never got along.
Right.
I'd walk to her house. And she would call my mom. Corey's here. I want to give him a sandwich and I'll bring him back later. And when she moved, I just felt this, probably my first loss.
Yeah.
Even though she wasn't dead.
And that's traumatic for a young
huge.
child. Yeah.
Huge.
I'm sure your counselor has told you that.
Oh, yeah.
Your therapist.
Yeah. So when I got to live with her, it was like a homecoming, It wasn't even a bad thing. But I had to decide, okay, listen, this is your chance. Don't fuck this up. Literally. Because at 14, I'd already done all the dumb shit.
Right.
I'd delivered packages. I had avoided gang life. I had avoided getting shot. I almost got ran over by a city bus, which was another near-death experience where I was literally lying under a bus looking at the axle and the rear wheels were 1.5 feet from my torso. Because my brother got on the wrong bus. Whole different story. We'll talk about that another day. But I was sneaking off to go buy clothes with my job money.
Yeah.
And made my brother go with me. We took the bus. He got on the wrong bus. I noticed it. He started running, or the bus started driving. I started running alongside the bus. The bus turns, hits me. I roll underneath the bus.
Oh, and the wheels just miss you.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Yeah. I'm looking at it.
Yeah.
Busted my head open, big scar on my arm, and people screaming. I shimmy out. I was so mad at my brother. We still talk about this story to this day. That was 14. That was my third time that I could have been killed.
Right. So at some point during this time, you like you said, when you turned 18, you knew you were going to be leaving, but you end up leaving because your mom makes a smart decision for you. And then you come to Indiana, or I'm sorry, Indianapolis.
Yeah.
And then your grandmother helps you go on the right path. So what got you into doing hair?
I met Bobby Cooper.
How old were you when you met Bobby?
Oh, gosh. It was a New
just
Year's
approximately.
Eve party.
It doesn't matter what year. I was just curious.
I think I was, God.
So did you learn?
Mid-20s?
Did you learn from Bobby, or did you you end up going to I don't know how a hairstylist. Did you go to a formal
cosmetology school?
Did you go to a cosmetology school?
Years after I met him.
Okay.
So, I had been, just basically.
Do you think you were just naturally good at this, or?
No, I wasn't.
Okay.
I had never put hair in a ponytail. I had never brushed anyone's hair. I still can't do a ponytail. We're going to be honest.
Well, you're fucking bald, bro.
And, if you think about like destiny.
Yeah.
I met him at a party that he was throwing where he and Sarah, who at the time were just dating, thought I was trying to sneak in. And
oh, no shit.
Yeah. And they actually wanted me to leave because they thought I was trying to sneak in. I wasn't. I had money to pay, but I was invited by a third party. So, when they say that we're all one decision away from a totally different life.
True. Facts.
Had I left that party and not been a jerk, basically, like I didn't do anything. I'm not leaving. I didn't do anything. Entitled, little shit. And I ended up staying, and they were.
Did you have a kid and play haircut then?
No, I think I had a baldy. I just kind of rocked it.
Okay, just checking.
I didn't even realize I was bald till I got to cosmetology school, and I tried to grow dreadlocks. I thought I needed dreadlocks.
You thought you'd be cool with dreadlocks.
Yeah. And then, I'll wait for Sarah to tell the story because we have differing versions of the story about how we met.
Do you want to hear? Do we share yours so that when she comes on the show,
yeah,
we can, so the listeners can go?
So I had
there's three sides to every story, right?
Oh yeah,
his, hers, and the truth.
Absolutely. That's a famous Rick Sleet quote. And I was working at a Italian restaurant, Bravo, which is no longer around.
Okay.
And they came in shortly after their party. I was upset. They tried to kick me out. And so I thought about putting Visine in their cocktails.
Oh, this guy's fucking brutal. Well,
listen, I'm from the street. Like this is, I'm going to get you 10 times worse than you got me. And I was going to do it. Like it was going to happen. And
let me know if we need to cut that out later.
No, she knows. She knows. And right before I was going to do the little, plop, plop into their drinks. By the way, listeners, don't ever do that. It's horrible to do to someone.
Not the everyday GSD way.
No, it is not. That is the immature, small-minded way. But right before, it's a true story, right before, I had a vision of my grandma, who was at the time still alive. And she said, Corey, kill him with kindness. And I ended up not doing it, giving them all their food for free. They recognized who I was, invited me out that night. We had a wild night and we became friends that moment.
Yeah, great friends.
Great friends, yeah. And then, leading up to meeting Bobby Cooper, I kept meeting hairdressers. I'm not kidding you. Like every person I met did hair. And I couldn't figure out, why do I keep meeting all these hairdressers? And, again, they're cool. They dress great. Bobby was the first guy that I met. All the rest were hot women. I was like, God, I work with you all day, any day. And
I'm going to work with you all day.
Listen, let me tell you something. I would sweep hair. I didn't care. So at the time, I was also selling health insurance and credit card machines. Again, because it's a hustle, man. You got to find something. And I would find myself at Bobby's salon where he worked. I don't even know how I would get there. I would just end up there. Like almost like something was driving me. I would just hang out and watch. And up to that point, I had never met a hairdresser who lived the life that I wanted until I met Bobby Cooper.
Right.
I mean, and this dude, you've met him.
Oh, yeah.
People love him.
Yeah.
He'd get entry into bars.
Yeah, he was Bobby Cooper.
All these cool parties, he dressed great and he was magnificent at hair. And so I was jealous, to be completely honest, but
in a respectful
way. Yeah.
Right.
He had nice cars, watches, beautiful homes. And I'm like, this dude does this doing hair. Like I didn't realize that I wanted it.
Well, I get it. I hear how much you fucking charge.
It's worth every penny. And, again, you meet people. Hairdressing is kind of like hustling. You have to get clients.
Well, and I think it's interesting that you say that, because I want to jump in and then I want you to continue on that. But because I mentioned that I hear how much you charge. You charge a premium, but you deliver a premium service, a premium product, and you have premium clients that are coming that want the best. So when someone goes, oh, I can go get my hair done for this price. Mm-hmm. Well, you can. And when you want it fixed, you can pay you can pay someone like Corey or someone at Lux Lab to make it right.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because I know a lot of people that are extremely paying for a haircut, a female to get their hair done, that experience, the money is not the issue. It's about the time and the experience they want and the end result, right? And then when you have the end result that you and your team at Lux Lab give, there's no compromise for the cost because they don't care.
No,
They're not looking at, oh my goodness, I can't believe it costs this much. And so when I say you charge a premium, I say that respectfully because
thank you.
they're getting a premium product at a premium place, and it's an experience.
That was Sarah and I's
vision.
Yeah,
I love it.
Yeah, there are so many options, even just here in Carmel, to get your hair done.
All over the Midwest, West Coast, East Coast, there's always options.
What I mean, like just concentrated here.
Yeah.
And you have to find what you do great. As I mentioned, I can't even do a ponytail.
So don't
come to me for a ponytail. Don't come to me for an updo. I don't, but I will cut the shit out of your hair.
Yeah.
I will color the shit out of your hair.
Yeah. I was like, you're the color master.
I think I'm all right. I think I'm all right. I'd say a good 7 out of 10.
Yeah. I'm going to say 10 out of 10, bro.
No.
Yeah.
But,
if I asked Sarah what you were out of a 10, what would she say?
She'd say a 10.
Yeah. There you go.
But she's also my best friend. So she
doesn't matter.
What's she supposed to say?
No, she's supposed to tell the truth because she's your best friend. Best friends are the ones who are going to keep it fucking real.
Right,
Justin?
One of the things.
Best friends keep it real.
Yes, they do.
Yeah.
One of the
Say
things,
it a little louder, Justin. Yeah, he said, fuck you.
One of the things that's good about the relationship she and I have, she'll tell you I'm a 10, but if she sees me doing 9 work, she will tell me.
Yeah, as she should.
She will say, what's going on?
Yeah.
You've had some redos, what's going on in your life? Blah, blah, blah.
And you're like, those redos, they sucked. They didn't, they did.
Yeah. It's never me. It's always them.
Yeah, it's always them.
It's never me.
Okay. So you end up working for Bobby Cooper so it's Bobby and Sarah, correct? At the time?
Just about, well, what I was going to say was, I was always where Bobby was working, and man, I hated life. I don't know if you knew me then, but I hated it. You hear the saying, working for the weekend, selling insurance, and actually made decent money, but I hated it. And again, every day I'd end up at his hair salon, not his, but where he worked.
Yeah.
And, we're talking about near death experiences. Sometimes you just have to listen. A lot of us don't want to listen. Whatever you believe in, the universe, Buddha, God, Allah, whatever it is, you got to listen sometimes. And I went to go see a client in Fort Wayne. Winter. I'm in do you remember my Camaro?
No. Keep going. Keep going.
Had a little Camaro. I thought I was cool. And I'm driving to Fort Wayne, and I hit some black ice on an overpass at 70 miles an hour.
Oh, shit.
Start spinning.
Rear wheel drive.
Z28. We're not messing around here. This is
T-tops?
V6. No, I couldn't afford the T-top.
Oh, shit.
And I went across all 4 lanes, the median, clipped the guardrail, went airborne, and crashed. And I thought I was dead. I mean, I literally, they say your brain slows down, when you have moments like that. That's the only moment I've had. Well, no, not really, but moment where I can remember it. And I can remember clearly looking out the passenger window thinking, I want to see the truck that's going to hit me and kill me. That's what I thought.
Yeah, because it's happening.
Yeah.
It's just tick, 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 tick.
Yeah. It was so slow. I mean, it was like inchworm slow, but it really wasn't. And I opened the door when I crashed, expecting to see my grandfather.
Oh, because you're dead.
Yeah, he's dead. Yeah, I thought so. Yeah, there was smoke in the car, and I'm thinking I'm dead. Let's do this. I didn't feel a thing. That's what I thought. And realized I wasn't.
Wait, are you really here right now?
Maybe. Who knows?
We don't know.
Who knows? And I
more mushrooms.
I get out of the car, and I look, and I literally said, "Thank you, God, I hear you." And that moment, I decided I was going to beauty school. Literally on the side of the highway. Well, actually, it was in an embankment. at that point. But
Yeah.
and I
Okay.
felt the gorilla leave my shoulders. And that's what pushed me to do it. So the next week, literally, I went to my boss at the insurance company, told him I was done,
Peace out.
enrolled in school, and got a job at Sullivan's Steakhouse waiting tables. And
To augment the money while you're in school.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. And
Because you're never not making money.
I can't.
Yeah.
I had a guest the other day who offered me another job. I'm like, should I do this? You know, like I'm something else.
Sarah will knock you in the fucking jaw.
Into next year. My mom would tell me I'll knock the taste out of your mouth when I would do something wild. She'd probably do that too. And it was. Have you ever seen the movie Coming to America? With Eddie Murphy.
Yes.
Do
It's pretty rare that I'm going to say yes when you ask me if I saw a movie because I've not seen a lot of.
Yeah, well, that's a classic.
Yes,
that's a classic. And if anyone who's listening hasn't seen it, you need to watch that shit.
I like when he's getting bathed.
You would go to that part. But do you remember the scene where he gets to McDowell's, the fake McDonald's,
Yeah.
and they hand him the mop and that big shit-eating grin he had? He was so happy to be mopping.
Yeah, I do. Actually, I do.
That was my first day at cosmetology school. That's how happy I was.
I love it.
I mean, that's true. That's real shit right there.
That's going to be
These little 18-year-olds thought I was the weirdest dick in the class because I just had a smile every day. Every day I was just smiling.
loving it.
Oh, loving every second. But the weirdest part was I didn't tell my close friend, Bobby Cooper, for like 6 months. And I made Sarah keep it a secret.
So you're at school.
He thought I was still selling insurance
Okay.
for 6 months.
Okay.
And when he finally found out, I don't even know how he found out. He was so hurt that I wouldn't tell him.
Did you not tell him for a reason? Because you were making sure you did it?
I don't even know why I didn't tell him. You know what I mean? I don't know. I don't even know. But as I mentioned earlier, he was the only hairstylist I saw that lived the life that I wanted.
That you wanted.
So I wanted to learn and do all the things, but I didn't want him to know until I was finished.
Right.
Because I didn't want, what if I quit? You know what I mean? Like, so if I told him, in my mind, if I told him and didn't finish it, that's a failure.
Right.
So I'd rather just not tell him until it's done.
Do you think the two of them at the time kind of took you under their wing?
Yeah, they didn't even know it. Didn't even know it. I mean, I had a lot of jobs, Darin. I've had a lot of jobs, and I think,
No one's ever called me Darin on the show, right? Just direct. It's so serious.
I'm
It is,
sorry.
I just realized that too. Like, I've not heard that yet.
Yeah, I haven't heard that. That's
Well,
nice.
this is
this is
sleazy.
this is legit.
Yeah,
We're
we're not fucking around.
yeah. This ain't no April Fool's fucking day.
No.
I mean it is, but it's not.
It's St. Patrick's Day. But it was they didn't know because I've always wanted more.
right.
Where I'm from, the goal was get through high school, go work in the mill for 40 years, buy a Cadillac, cut the grass, have a house. If you're lucky, have a pension that's enough that you don't have to get a second job and stay there.
Right.
That was the pits for me.
Right.
I saw that. I wanted something I couldn't see. That was, people say you can't do it.
Right.
It's unattainable. And it was more than just, I want to be in the NBA. No. I knew that shit wasn't going to happen.
Right.
I figured that out when I stopped growing and I was only 6'1", and I met my first real NBA player who I couldn't even see his head. He was so tall. But yeah, back to your question. I don't think that the Coopers knew,
Right.
just trying to be around them. And I mean, I was with them more than my family,
Right.
just trying to soak up, whatever I could soak up.
And you worked with them for 15 years.
Just under.
Just under 15 years.
Sarah was there,
And can we talk
I
about-
think 13 and a half.
Okay, and Sarah's a fucking rock star, just for the record. She will be on the show. I know she's extremely busy. She's already said she'd be on the show, so I'm super excited.
Got to stay on her.
I will, like I did with you.
Yeah.
So we will get her on the show, and I know the listeners are going to love her story.
Yeah.
Because, man, she's fucking awesome.
Yeah.
But, so you work with them, and they, I don't know, we won't get into their relationship.
We'll let her talk about that.
Yeah. So they end up getting divorced.
Mm-hmm.
But you're friends with both of them at the time.
Yes.
Correct.
Yeah.
Okay. I want to make sure I say this right.
Yeah.
But you have more aspirations.
Yeah. Well, really quick, other side story.
Because I don't want to put words in your mouth.
No, you're good. They didn't want to hire me.
Oh, we're still going back.
As close as we were when Bobby and Sarah opened Bobby Cooper Salon. They didn't want to hire me. As a matter of fact, they told me no.
And you laughed. You're like, I love no.
No, I was pissed.
No means yes to Corey. Corey's
no,
like, oh.
this brought a...
So you just showed up and started working?
I should have. No, I actually went...
This is my booth. You're now my client.
I should have just kicked in the door. No, I went and worked somewhere else.
Okay.
Right out of school. And I had just...
Hang on, back up. Why didn't they want to hire you?
Because they were told by their mentors, don't hire your friends.
Oh, I was just say because you had red hair.
I was bald as shit back then.
Yeah. Don't hire the bald,
as bald as I am right now,
hairdresser.
And so they were advised, which I have learned now as a business owner. This is actually very true.
It's a good decision.
Do not hire your friends.
Yeah.
And I don't know if I can put into words the hurt. It was rage, but it was also hurt. Because I just didn't understand. They didn't know how badly I wanted it. You know what I mean? Like you can't see. I mean, I've hired people who interview well, and 3 days in, they need a day off.
They need a week off because they're going to a wedding.
Or whatever it is. Yeah. And they were very much against it and weren't going to do it. And not until I went to Sarah's office, because Bobby was, Bobby's busy as shit doing hair, and she said, well, come in after a while, and they saw me working somewhere else and I was really putting in the work.
Okay.
And I go in, and again, I was hot, dude, but I was more hurt.
Yeah.
And I'm pretty sure I cried, and I just said to her, I can't believe that you would think that I would not work hard for you. Like all the stuff that we've been through, not a lot of wild shit, at that point.
Right.
Although they did have Roxy, their daughter who was born prematurely and was dealing with those issues. And I just felt like, we were
who's now in college, right?
A sophomore.
It's crazy.
It just blows my mind.
Anyway, continue.
And I basically told her emphatically that you can hire me or you'll hear about me later somewhere else. And I meant it. Either I'm going to come here or I'm going to go to David Lowry or somewhere else and use that fuel to burn you guys. And she told me that's what did it when I told her that, because I meant it.
Yeah.
But also it fueled me too, because I never wanted any employees, teammates, coworkers to think that I got anything because I was friends with Bobby. And she'll tell you when she comes in here. First one in, last one out.
Oh yeah, everyone knows your fucking work ethic, bro.
Well, I mean, that's again, starts when you're 11.
Yeah.
Everything
dodging
carries
bullets
on.
And Gary.
Well, that was 12, but and it just worked out. But again, I had my mentor and friend right beside me. And I love a challenge. I love a challenge. And no one wanted to work next to Bobby out of fear. I saw that empty station and fucking grabbed it because I could sneak looks. I could watch.
Yeah. It's
I
genius.
could feel almost everything. And I wanted to learn because, again, there wasn't a hairdresser I'd ever seen that had the life I wanted other than Bobby Cooper.
Right.
So I wanted to do everything he was doing, from how he dressed to, how he spoke to his guests, which I had to learn, people like to say, silly shit to me all the time, and I let it pass because I know, bigger picture, what it is. Like, I've had people say, well, Corey, he's not really black. Because I enunciate. One of the things I had to learn with Bobby was you don't tell everybody everything. You make the experience about the guest. They don't care what I did last night. They don't care anything.
So true, right?
But I went back even farther. Quick story. When I was 15 and at Pike High School, I knew, one, that's when I first felt comfortable with my sophomore year. When I moved here, I didn't like white people. There were no white people where I'm from. There were black and Puerto Rican. The only white people I saw were people in Maryville at the mall who avoided us. We were the Gary kids. Probably smelled. We looked a little dirty.
Like chicken feathers.
like wet ass chicken feathers.
Wet-ass chicken. Hey, adjust your chair this way a little bit. Yeah. Yeah, perfect.
And so, one day I just got sick of people making fun of my Chicago/region accent.
Oh, yeah, because that's called the region, right?
Mm-hmm. So I went to my English teacher. It's a true story. After school. Again, this is part of the plan. I've always had a plan. And I
Six
asked
P's,
her,
right? 6 P's. Proper planning prevents piss poor performance.
Exactly.
You've always had a fucking plan. That's
Always.
everyday GSD shit right there.
and I went to her and I still can hear it. I said, I need you to teach me how to talk right. And she says, excuse me? I said, I don't talk good. And then she goes, you don't speak well. And I said, yeah, that shit.
Yeah, she's like, I'm already teaching you.
And I went and stayed.
Yeah.
To learn how to speak. Just so that I never knew what I was going to do. But I knew that if I continued to speak the way I spoke, I'm not a basketball player. I'm not a football player. I'm not a rapper. I can't go into a meeting. Where'd you get them shoes at? I could never do that.
Right.
So even that at 15 humbled me and prepared me unknowingly to work next to Bobby.
Yeah.
And learn how to speak, how to listen. But he still would give me the side eye when I would say some wild shit, to his Geist clients. Man, Bobby, remember we were in Broadway last weekend? I was fucked up.
Stink eye.
Yeah. I'm like, I was very intoxicated. Had to translate it.
You're going to say something, Justin.
Well, no, it's like that Will Smith movie. He's like a bottle of beer. You didn't have a beer, you had a bottle of a beer.
Well, even now, I'm a little older than I was when that place opened. And there are times I want to say improper grammar. You've known me a long time. You probably never noticed I pause when I talk. The reason why I pause is because I want to say, where'd you get them shoes at? Or something like that. And I have to think, still, I can't do that.
Right.
I have to be proper. And so,
well, not necessarily proper, more correct, right?
Exactly. So
I think I think that might be confusing for people, and correct me if I'm wrong, because when you're talking called street talk, that's not the proper way that you're going to be successful in in a business world and running a business, because like you said, you're not a rapper, you're not a
Athlete,
NBA athlete or whatever. But at the end of the day, that's not proper anyway. Right.
But
that's not a cultural thing. That's a hood thing. And I say hood, white, black, Hispanic.
I mean, I have white friends that I grew up with at Pike who are from the West Side who sound like every other person from the West Side. It's just, it's more of a geographical thing than anything else. And, it used to bother me when people would say things like, oh, well, Corey, he's not really black. Oh, well, tell the police that. And I've never had any issues with the police. Let me just put that out there right now. I love Carmel Police and Westfield and Fishers and all you guys that are close by.
He just got real fucking.
If you see me doing 80, it wasn't me. But
in your fucking BMW or Mercedes. What are you driving now anyway?
I don't know. It's got 4 wheels and an engine. It just goes.
You're lying like a motherfucker.
It just goes 4 wheels and an engine.
What are you driving?
It's gray.
Yeah.
I saw it.
Yeah.
It's gray. It's gray.
It's not that shitty little bicycle you were delivering newspapers in.
Yeah, newspapers.
Yeah.
But it was.
Did you ever look in the backpack?
No, dude. You don't do that.
You don't
do that. There's just things that are inherent.
Yeah.
And that's one of those things. Like you just do what you're told. And the weird thing about that time, also really quickly, I was making a lot more than my friends' fathers.
Yeah.
That's what the wild thing was.
Yeah.
I had the ones who had dads.
Yeah.
A lot of my friends, their dads weren't in the house.
Yeah.
So it was interesting. And it molds us.
Right.
It makes us who we are. Would I do things differently? People have asked me that. Probably not.
Why
because I know what the outcome was. I don't know what my story will be, when I'm no longer here. But if you would have told 12-year-old Corey, 11-year-old Corey was killing chickens someday
in the most humane way.
Someday you're going to own a business. You would have owned multiple homes. You travel the world. You have friends who are generous and let you fly on their private planes. I would have said, what do I have to do?
Yeah.
I mean, literally, what do I have to do?
Right.
I wouldn't have cared if you said, lay on hot coals. If that's what it took, that's what I was going to do.
But the irony in your story is no one told you what you need to do, but you created your path because you've always had the vision and the goals and the dream to be successful. And successful is measured in a million different ways. We all know that, right? But you've had this vision where, again, let's not kid ourselves. You now are a co-owner with Sarah Cooper, Lux Labs, which does, what? Give me just a 30-second elevator speech of all the things that your place does, your spa does.
Well, its full name is Lux Lab Hair and Body.
Sorry.
No, we are, no, you're fine. It's a salon and med spa. We do injections, Botox filler, Kybella, laser treatments, body contouring, muscle toning, fat melting, along with facials, along with magnificent hair. And this was a product of Sarah and I thinking about it, actually on a rooftop in Los Angeles at a hotel. We were there for my birthday.
Yeah.
And it was
seriously, right?
Are you
fucking kidding me?
Again, my life it's a movie, man. Like, I'm not kidding. Like, I think about that a lot. And yes, I work my ass off, but I know that there's a lot of luck. One of those things changes early on. It's a totally different life.
So I'm going to disagree. I'm not going to say luck. I'm going to say chances that happen and the road you take. Right? And here's why I'm going to say this. Someone would say you're lucky you didn't get shot and you got away at the fire station. It was a choice you made not to go to the railroad, and you went to the fire station. Okay. So that wasn't luck. That was you and your friend going, fuck.
Well, actually, that was me. He wanted to try to run home.
Either way, what my point is, when someone says, because one of the things that kind of annoys me, well, it does fucking annoy me. It annoys me a lot when someone's like, oh, you're so lucky. You know, I wish I had your life. Well, you know what? Fucking work your ass off. I didn't just wake up one day and sit here with Justin and have this podcast, have a manufacturing company, working on these projects and doing all these things. This didn't just happen yesterday. This didn't happen just one day because I'm like, oh, you know what?
There was no leprechaun.
There's no fucking leprechaun, man. But I understand when you say luck, because it's a word used so loosely. But I just want to I want to, as someone telling you, your story is not lucky. Your story is the path you chose, and all the people that chose the other path didn't fucking make it, because they had the same. You know what? They could have went and delivered newspapers. They could have went and asked the guy at the mosque to go kill chickens. They could have done all the same things you did. You didn't scratch off a ticket and win $1 million.
I'd like to.
Yeah, we all do. Like, you know, it doesn't matter how many millions you have. Love to win $1 million, right?
Yeah.
But like at the end of the day, that's so. I'd like to share that, because I feel like that's a common thing that people say. Oh yeah, I got a lucky break. No, when you make it to the NFL, you didn't get a lucky break. You busted your ass off. You put yourself in the position where a coach was able to see you and say, he's the right person. We're going to choose him.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, you got a lucky break because you got picked. I'm going, no, man. I put myself there.
It's what you do with that.
Right.
You know, because we could sit here and name dozens of busts, you know, in professional sports where they get there and they don't work out.
Or the flip side of that, like we had Gary Brackett was a guest on the show. I don't remember what episode. I mean, his story is crazy.
I've read his story online.
I mean, his stories, you got to watch that episode.
I think I did. Maybe I need to watch it again.
It's crazy. The tragedy that he had, and
one after another.
Yeah. And I think he said, he goes, I was very lucky that I was in this position. I'm like, the fuck you were, man. You weren't lucky. You had all the unlucky shit around you happening, and you busted your ass and powered through because you were GSDing. You never ever fucking stopped. You didn't let this noise affect you. And when you let the noise affect you, then you start making excuses. Oh, I didn't get that opportunity like he did.
Yeah.
I didn't get that chance that she did.
You're right.
I'm black. I don't have the same opportunity as that person. Or I'm white. I didn't get this. I'm white playing this sport where everyone's kicking my ass. No, work fucking harder.
Well, and that was something
because no one fucking cares, right?
No, ever.
Because no one fucking cares.
I mean, you think that these other, not to be silly, but salon and med spa owners wouldn't love to see me close.
Yeah,
because that's less competition for them.
I have a friend. His name is Chuck Hall. He's in the chimney industry, the venting industry. He owns an amazing company, Winston's Chimney. I know he listened to the show. I don't know if he'll listen to this show, but at the end of the day, here's a guy that's been in like major car accidents, like literally people like minutes from death, lawsuits, ups and downs, and runs a amazing company. And when you see someone like that can, no matter what the shit that's put around you, just go, you know what? I don't care. Because you know what? No one cares. Work fucking harder.
No. You know,
right?
One of the things I've been fortunate to meet, I have many, many, many mentors, including you. You know, you may not know, but I get information from everybody. You know, you told me a story years ago. I know we're not supposed to talk about you, but I'm gonna give you some flowers here.
It's not about me, man.
Where you when you were talking to me about your chimney business and how you couldn't get the liners, and the guy kept sending you the liners and they would be broken, and so you decided
the panels.
I'm sorry,
yeah,
to make your own panels.
Yeah,
you don't understand. That struck me. I was like, well, shit. This dude could have just kept getting these broken panels.
Yeah.
And correct me if I'm wrong. Did you put that guy out of business?
Oh yeah, crushed him.
Yeah.
All of them. We're the largest. We're the largest refractory panel maker in North America.
But
still to this day,
hearing stories like that is what pushes me. You know, I tell my dad all the time, I'm the poorest person in my friend group. And I say that tongue in cheek, but it's actually true. It's actually true.
It's probably not though.
I think I have a good life. I have a great life, actually. Again, you know, if you would have said to 8-year-old Corey, here's what you're going to have 40 years later, I'd jump on it. But like you were saying about seizing opportunity, when I was on that bus, a Greyhound bus from Gary to Indianapolis, because my mom was like, you're leaving tonight.
Yeah.
The day it happened.
Yeah.
It wasn't like,
pack your shit. We're going to talk about it, have a party.
After this semester, you know, no. Yeah. I came home from fucking school and there was a suitcase in the living room. And I said, who's here to visit? She goes, you're leaving tonight. I'm not going to go to your funeral.
Yeah.
And then she said, go talk to your brothers and your sister.
Go say bye.
Pretty much. On that bus ride.
We need to get mom on the show.
On that bus ride, I thought, this is it. You've been planning for this. You're 4 years early.
Yeah.
Do something. And even getting here, you know, got to Pike. Again, I'd never been around white people. Yeah. Scared to death.
Yeah.
Didn't know what to say. You know, I spoke differently, looked differently. And there were two types of kids at my school. Those that were afraid of me because I'm from Gary, and those that wanted to fight me because they wanted to say they fought a Gary kid.
Yeah.
And the only reason I didn't, I was a pussy. Everyone thought he's not even tough. I didn't want to let my grandma down.
Yeah.
So I just said, you know, I'll take that.
Yeah.
I'll take it.
Yeah.
Because there was
call me all the names you want.
Yeah. Even to this day, like I said, people, because I speak correctly sometimes, they want to challenge my blackness.
Yeah.
I mean, what am I supposed to do?
Yeah.
Speak poorly, have a bunch of kids, gold teeth, saggy jeans. I say that shit and they're like, well, that's not what I mean. Well, what do you mean?
What do you fucking mean?
That is what you mean.
Yeah.
Why don't you say what you mean? And I would respect you more if you just said that.
Yeah.
As opposed to now you're moonwalking. Shout out Michael Jackson. Now you're moonwalking out of this conversation.
Yeah.
But, you know, I don't take anything for granted. I wake up and I know that I'm blessed.
Yeah.
You know, the things that I complain about, most people would kill for. And, you know, the thing for me is to just try to let other people know you got to seize the moment. Like you don't get today back. We'll never get Sunday the 17th of March back, 2024.
Yeah.
So just, you know, whatever you got going on, just deal with it.
Yeah.
And you get what you give.
Yeah.
If you want to be great, you got to put in greatness. You know, people, oh my God, I love Taylor Swift. For example, everyone loves Taylor Swift.
Do you?
No.
We won't get into that.
She's fine.
She's fine.
I mean, I probably relate more to Travis Kelce than her. But people don't understand how many hours she practiced to get there. How many sleepovers she probably missed. Yeah. How many birthday parties she missed. People look at me and they're like, oh, well, you know, Corey got lucky because he worked for Bobby. I didn't know shit when I got there. I'm surprised he kept me, to be honest. I was doing stuff not because I was taking shortcuts. I just didn't know.
Right.
And then I'd watch him and I'm like, oh God, I have no fucking clue what I'm doing. There's a woman that works with me and Sarah. She was the first person we hired. Riley is her name. She's 23.
He's going to correct your English. Watch this.
Sarah and me.
He does it to me all the time.
Whatever. I told you I'm from Gary. You guys giving me wine and shit.
So, and you know what I say? Fuck off, Justin.
I don't even care. This shows you. This shit is real. I have to literally think about it or else it comes out. But she,
And it's grammar, not English.
Oh, he corrects me on that too. I was like, you correct my English. He's like, it's grammar. I'm like,
who cares? Sarah Cooper is a grammar police too.
Oh, is she?
Pushed her ass out of a moving car. It's fine. But she's a good.
Too soon.
Corey said he's going to push you out of a moving car.
Moving on.
She works with us. She's 23 and she works her ass off.
This person that works with you guys now.
She reminds me of me. And this is no disrespect to anyone else that works with us. Period.
Oh, absolutely. No, I get it.
But, I look at her and I see me. She sees an opportunity and she's grabbing it.
I love it.
And it's hard for people our age, Darin, to do that now. There's always an excuse.
Well, that's the problem. Everyone has a fucking excuse, right? It gets me wound up. So, obviously I have my manufacturing company. I've got an amazing team that works for me. I've got amazing management crew. Evan Havers, the president of the company. He's the fucking man. He runs shit. And you know what he doesn't put up with? Excuses. Mm-hmm. Because he knows I don't put up with excuses. Mm-hmm. I don't have to talk to him for a week or 2 weeks if I'm on vacation with Jonica or I'm traveling doing something else. But when I call him, he answers the phone and it's very bam, bam, bam. This is what's going on.
Yeah.
Right. And he'll never ever say, well, this is why this happened. That's a fucking excuse. Mm-hmm. I don't want these problems. I want solutions. Don't bring me a problem without a solution.
Again, if you are complaining to someone or telling them about your problems and they can't fix it, you're just bitching.
You're bitching. And you know what happens to bitches? They're like snitches.
Oh, God.
I just threw that in there. It sounded so good. Okay, listen, we've been at it for a little while. I have a little gift for you before I let you go. But one last message, because I feel like we covered most of the stuff. Is there anything you want to touch on that I might not have hit? I just quickly looked.
We spoke a little bit off camera.
Don't tell our secrets.
No. Watching a parent get older is hard.
Oh, ALS.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So my dad has it.
Yeah.
It's rough.
And how old is he?
71.
71.
Yeah.
Well, there's any charity or is there any group that you know of that we can have our listeners throw some money for
Any
research?
Yeah, any of them.
Or for support? Because obviously, my charity, Superway Cancer, but this is for individuals affected with cancer, which is not ALS.
There's, if you Google it, there's a lot.
Justin, maybe we'll task you on that. We'll throw. We'll do that. Yeah, let's do that. I want to end on a positive note. Do you have a message? And I don't want to stop you from what you're talking about. I know
you're good.
You mentioned that, so we will. Let's throw a link about ALS and throw some information on there, and then put it in our little the bio or however that works, Justin. You know how that all. I don't know any of that shit, but yeah, let's help raise some money for any individual affected with ALS because it's fucking tough.
Awful.
It's awful. Clearly, I can tell by the change in you just now. But I do want to end on a positive note because, man, you are a fucking everyday GSD guy.
No.
Yes.
I'm just a hard worker.
Yeah, you have been for I'm gonna say, like, I guess since you were 8 years old, but maybe even a little longer than that. Maybe it was even 6. So I have a little everyday GSD shirt for you. But I do ask one question. You have one message for the audience. If they can hear this, that might either change their life as a young listener or as a listener going, you know what? That's the fucking turning point, man. I have to go out on everyday GSD because, Corey mentioned this, or, Darin prompted him, but like, what is it that drives you, pushes you to make sure you get everything that you want in success? Success is measured in a million different ways. Happiness, right?
Just do the work. Don't be scared to roll your sleeves up. Don't be scared to get dirty. Like just get shit done.
Get shit done. Do the work.
This is funny. My high school football coach used to, speaking of making excuses, would tell us excuses are like assholes. Everyone's got one and they all stink.
Yeah.
And I still think about that. Like when I wake up, I have horrible back pain. Anyone that knows me will tell you, horrible. I have awful back pain. I can't use that as an excuse.
No.
I can say to my client, oh, my back hurts today.
Yeah.
They have a wedding next weekend. They have a trip.
Yeah, they need to look beautiful.
They don't care.
Yeah.
I mean, they might a little, but at the end of the day,
excuses.
No excuses.
No excuses.
Just put in the work. That would be my message. Put in the work.
I love it. Put in the work.
Seize opportunities.
I will say one last thing, and normally I don't do this with a sponsor, but Good Dudes Coffee is our sponsor, right? And their slogan is "Good Dudes, Good Coffee, Good Day Ahead." But Josh Bridges, his thing is pay the man, and I brought that up because it's very similar to like no excuses, because no one fucking cares. But pay the man. You want results. You need to pay the man, whatever that means. You have to put in the work if you want results.
Yeah.
And again, that's my interpretation of pay the man from Good Dudes Coffee, Josh. But
I may have to start drinking coffee now.
Yeah. You probably don't need it.
I've never had a cup of coffee in my life.
Well, you're going to get one today because we've got the nice coffee machine. We got the whole thing, and you get one of these too.
Do you want to end in a funny story about why I don't drink coffee?
should we on air or after?
Oh no, this is on air.
Okay.
As you know, I'm the oldest of 9.
Right.
My mother, who's still living, by the way, who's very, very dear to my heart. She'll hear this. In the morning, every morning, was an absolute lunatic until she had her Folgers crystals.
Yeah, yes.
And I remember clearly thinking, if this is what coffee does to you, I want no fucking part of this.
Yeah, that's great. That's fucking great. I love it.
And so, yeah, I've never had a cup of coffee.
Yeah. I think there's only a couple of us in the room that can say that, but I won't say it because we have a great sponsor.
Well, hey, good dudes, I'm going to try it.
Yeah, Corey, thank you. This shirt's for you, my friend. We're going to do some pictures after. We got some other stuff to do, but because you're an everyday GSD guy, you have been for years. This is for you.
Thank you.
I know you'll wear it with pride.
Of course.
I want to, like, with extreme thankfulness for you to come on the show. That's probably not proper English or proper grammar, but not even close. He said
maybe Justin will give us lessons.
Yeah, he will. But no, seriously, thank you so much. Awesome. It was a pleasure. I'm looking forward to having your business partner, Sarah Cooper, on in the near future. Again, I know you're super busy. Looking forward to seeing you continue to develop and your business, Lux Lab,
hair and body,
continue to be successful and a staple in this community.
Thank you very much.
You're awesome. Thank you, brother.
Thanks, bro.
Thanks for watching the Everyday GSD podcast. Episodes come out on the 1st and 15th of the month. If you want to watch people or listen to people that Everyday GSD, please download and subscribe wherever you listen or watch the Everyday GSD podcast. Everyday GSD.